All right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I am back. It has been a long time since I've made a video. It's been about 3 months. 3 long months of no YouTube content. Honestly, no video games. I've been busy at home. I've been busy doing a lot of work around the house. Got everything done except for a few things. So I'm finally able to get back and do stuff. And so I wanted to do a video. I can't really do video game content because I haven't been playing video games, so that doesn't make any sense. But I decided for my first video back that not many people are going to watch anyways. I wanted to go back and read some comments. So I did a video 3 months ago talking about how I stopped playing ESO and I started playing New World. The TLDR, I'll provide a link in the description, but I basically said, hey, ESO doesn't work when I'm playing. When I hop on to play, it's not enjoyable for me right now. Performance is bad. When performance isn't bad, nobody's on playing. We all remember last fall, guys. PvP was just in a really, really bad spot. I don't know where it's at right now. Took a very, very long break. I still haven't come back to play. But I did say at the end, you know, when the maintenance update, hardware update happens, I will come back and play again. I have some doubts as to whether or not that will actually improve the game, but I am willing to give it a shot. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And apparently, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's right around the corner. They said Q3 the last time I checked. You guys can correct me if it got pushed back any further, but I'm assuming August, September, October, like I'll be back playing ESO again. And so I wanted to do a video and I wanted to cover some of the comments because Nephis reacted to the video and I, read the comment section and there was some good stuff. There's some New World related stuff that I wanted to clear up because there was a lot of misconceptions about some things in New World. There was some insult stuff, so I figured it'd be fun to have some friendly, fun banter. And yeah, we can just go into stuff that I thought was interesting and we're talking about. And so that's what this video is. Only a 2 minute and 15-second introduction. We are just, I mean, it's like I never left. It's just, we got these long intros. But yeah, that's what this video is. So let's dive into it. Nephis didn't really say anything different than what I said. He, like most people that are veteran players that have been around for a while, if you're playing ESO for PvP, it's in a bad spot. If you're still enjoying it and you're hopping on, that's great. But like, they haven't come out with new updates. I'm not going to rehash old things. Like, he basically agreed with me. The one exciting thing that did come out of the video was I was posting New World content. I had New World content playing in the background like I do here. And they were making a comment about shots landing. And then Nephis made some, I forget exactly what it was, but he's like, hey, like, seeing a lot of shots here. And the person that he was with said aim assist. And immediately I started smiling because I've been playing with Kirk and Nice on New World, and it was like the week before we were talking about how we were looking forward to somebody calling us cheaters. Because when you get called a cheater in a game and you're not cheating, it's a huge compliment. Like, when bodybuilders are called steroid users and they're actually natural, it's a compliment. Like, you're actually so good people could confuse it for cheating. So when they said aim assist, I was pretty happy because I've switched on ESO. I was playing controller. I'm a controller pleb with ESO. And then when I switched to New World, I wanted to get used to mouse and keyboard because eventually when I play Ashes, when I play other MMOs, I wanted to get used to that. And it has been a fucking grind, guys. It's not been easy. It's been a struggle. I've been humbled in more ways than one. But the fact that I was able to compile like 20 minutes of gameplay to where it looked like I knew what I was doing, I was pretty happy about it. And so that was the first thing. And so, yeah, no aim assist, mouse and keyboard on New World. No control. I know you can play controller on New World, but yeah, I want to get used to mouse and keyboard. And eventually, yeah, I want to do mouse and keyboard for everything. So yeah, let's dive into the comments. The first comment here from Court Games says, every MMO has its ups and downs. Your favorite streamer shouldn't influence your decision to love a game or not. Sorry, there's a run-on sentence there. I started to run on, but yeah, I agree with him or her. I agree with Court Game that yeah, in content creator, YouTuber, whatever, they should not influence your decision. And I even said as such in my video. I even said, hey, just because the game's not working for me, in what I like to do doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. If you like doing overland content, you like doing dungeons, if you hop on in PvP and it works for you, then keep playing it. It's a great game when it works. For me, when I hop on, which is prime time American hours, it wasn't working. And when it was working, there was nobody to really fight. It was really tough for me to find fights at times. And so I completely agree with this. And so, yeah, don't leave because anybody tells you to. I've never been that guy like, hey, we need to rally around and do this. Like, even when the game was in a bad spot last year, with the developers not listening to the community, I was never one of those people that was like, hey, we need to band together and not pay for ESO plus. You guys can decide to do what you want to do. I'll decide to do what I want to do. It's cool. I'm just telling you my perspective. You can tell me yours. It's a little bit more laid back, you know, like, hey, yeah, that was my Tony Danza impression. So, I just dated myself. Anyways, I was watching Letterkenny and they were doing Tony Danza impressions. I'm trying to catch up on Letterkenny. So, anyways, I completely agree. And so some people take big offense to you being critical. And so that kind of segues into the next comment that I saw. And it's right here from BD Larson. He says, I'm actually surprised. Is there no one else lasted this long? You're absolutely right. My wife is always surprised when I last long. Like, always surprised. So totally get it. Of the creators, he and Sawman have been scathing in their criticisms and have been encouraging others to leave ESO. I thought he was going to be the first to go a year ago, but I suppose as a creator, he needed to have a new subject for content lined up before his official departure. Now, guys, this is your chance to dunk on me on social media. You guys can go on Twitter, Twit, like whatever. You can dunk on me here. I'm pretty sure I've never told anybody to leave ESO. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I do have a Discord in general chat where like we goof around and we joke. Like, literally nothing is serious in general chat. Like, all we do is troll each other nonstop. That's how we show we care about each other, is just nonstop jokes. But even then, I don't think I've ever told anybody to quit the game. I've said that the game's not in a good spot. I've said it's not fun. That's my perspective. But I don't tell other people. Even in the video that he's commenting on, I never told anybody to leave ESO. Now, as far as scathing criticisms go, yes. Last year, from August until December, my ESO videos were pretty scathing. I think it's justifiably scathing, though. Just judging by the fact that they weren't listening to the community. They couldn't fix block for 7 weeks. Performance was getting worse. They were lying about when updates were going to happen. Like everything was spiraling out of control. It was kind of like an avalanche where like just things keep building on top of each other, and they keep building and they keep building, and it was getting worse and worse to a point to where the development team did something that I've never seen before, and they actually talked to the players. Nefis talked about how they brought in a bunch of the stream team members and they said, hey, what do we have to do? Where do we have to go? These sorts of things. And so I don't think my criticism, although scathing, was unwarranted. I think it was in a bad spot. I think a lot of veteran players realized it was at a bad spot. I noticed that a lot of my Discord from other players, myself included, we were feeling it. The developers were even feeling it. That's why they felt the need to go talk to players, which they don't really do anymore. They, like Nefis even said, this is the first time this is something like this has happened, and it's good to see that they're acknowledging it. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person where then when they make good changes, I properly, like, I say, hey, this is a really good change. This is a really good adjustment. More of this. This is awesome. When things are bad, I say, hey, this is not good for this, and this reason. And I try to outline those things. Some people, I get it. Like, if you really like a game, you don't want to hear criticism. And I'm not applying it to this guy, but if I'm really enjoying a game, I don't want to hear negativity from somebody like a content creator I watch either. I totally get that. But this didn't happen. Like, I wasn't telling people to leave ESO, so I don't know where that's coming from. As far as the lining content up before my official departure, first of all, I haven't left. I haven't left. I'm taking a very long break. I will come back when and if performance improves. If you think I'm gone for good, it's basically acknowledging that performance is never going to improve. But yeah, I do plan on coming back this fall. As far as other content lined up, guys, this is my part-time thing. Like, I do this for fun. I like to help people out with builds. I like to theory craft. It's I like engaging that part of my brain into theory crafting, like theory crafting, helping people out like that. That's the type of stuff that I really get a kick out of. But I'm not doing this monetarily. I'm not doing this. I'm not making a big profit off of it. It's just not happening. If it was, me taking a 3-month break would be pretty bad. It would be pretty freaking bad. And so, which is what's happened this year and what happened last year when I've been flipping houses. And so, yeah, part-time thing. I do not need to say it like I'm not beholden, I'm not beholden to like games. My profitability doesn't rely on if a development team likes me or not. I just speak my mind, and you guys can agree or disagree, but that's where it's coming from. Sad to see yet another ESO content creator go and express they'll never come back. I didn't say that. I'm also glad, as the Fast Speed post, whether true or not, were full of negativity and complaints the rest didn't need or want to hear again and again. I get it. I do get that. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Coming from the guy that was like, hey, let's wait and see for 2 or 3 years with the first development team to last year was just completely different than most other years. I don't know what this year's like. I haven't been paying attention, to be honest, but we'll see. And so, yeah, we all know the weaknesses and deal with it. Correct. Year of hell has passed. Now the devs are at a crossroads. Will they take advantage of this year's mini upswing, or will they squander it and go back to old habits? We shall see what this year brings. True. Every year they have an upswing in the summer. And every year they've squandered it so far. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Yeah, there were also a lot of comments about New World. I'll just start posting a few that I saw, not directed at anybody individually. Some of the complaints I thought were justifiable, like some of the issues now. New World, like any other game, has issues. But there were a lot of complaints about performance for New World and invincibility bugs and glitches and these sorts of things. And a lot of that information is outdated. Now, this is me. I'm not telling anybody to play a game or to not play a game. I want to clear the air on this one. The game works fine. Performance is great. In the 5 months I've played, the one issue that I remember with bugs in the game got fixed really, really quickly once it became popularized. It was an issue with muskets, and I can't remember exactly what it was because it's been a little while. But it got fixed rather quickly. They addressed it, they fixed it, and they moved on. But a lot of those issues come from when the game first came out back in 2021, because the game was a pile of crap. It was really, really bad, really glitchy, really buggy, really hard to grind, not a lot of content. All those sorts of things have still like put a black eye on the game, and justifiably so. When you release a steaming hot pile of garbage the way New World was in year one, you should expect that kind of backlash. And for a lot of players, that backlash will not go away. I totally get that. All I'm trying to say is the game's different. It has other issues. The issues, in my opinion, that relate to the game are content related. There's not a ton of PvE content. There's not a ton of Overland content. PvP, although fun because it's server side, oftentimes servers will die down in your area. And so you don't have the 24/7 PvP like you do on ESO. Like there are times where I remember I was pushing for EMP one time and I played for like, what was it? 32 out of 36 hours or something like that. I had a 4-hour little nap while I was pushing for Emperor. You can't do that in New World, not PvP wise, because basically at night or whatever time on your server, there's a point where kind of like either open world, PvP, 3v3s, and OPRs all kind of die down. At least that was for me on Lilith when I was playing, like midnight my time. The game would kind of slowly die off, and then people would just know to hop off at that time because there's literally no games to find, and you would never find anybody because there's just like, okay, well, this game's done, time to move on to the next game. That was kind of the MO on the server that I was on. Now, when they do cross servers, they will eventually do cross server OPR and cross server 3v3. I think a lot of that, the ebbing and flowing of population for New World, will go away because people will be online PvPing more. They'll be able to play PvP more because there will be nonstop OPRs because multiple servers will be populating the OPR queues and the 3v3 queues, which will be great. But yeah, there's definitely issues in the game. It's just not related to those specific things, in my opinion. And so I was playing with Kirk, I was playing with Nice, I was playing with a bunch of other guys in the community, and I can't tell you from the hours and different days talking to people that we ever encountered those types of issues. I'm not saying that they didn't exist, but they're not the problematic thing that they were. And so just wanted to clear that up. Wanted to clear the air a little bit. You can choose to not like New World and not play it, and that's more than fine. It's not your type of game. But if performance and glitches and bugs and stuff was the reason holding you back, that's not true from my experience. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Next comment. I've never heard of that guy in my life. That's okay. You must be new, else was the best PvP content creator we have. Agreed, man. He didn't post clickbaity, cringy stuff like some of them. He always tried to stay objective and wanted genuine balance and good changes for the game. He made funny, humorous content and great set reviews. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Easily my favorite content creator for this game. Plus, he was a good PvPer, so if he put a build up, you knew it was good. Some other good content creators like Dots Gaming are good creators, but they don't put up enough gameplay, so you don't know how good they are as a player. I will say Dots Gaming is a very good player. I totally get that concern when I look at builds for even New World or other new games that I'm looking at. I really want to see gameplay. And that's why I make it a priority when I do builds, that I make it a priority that gameplay is there. Either it's in the build video or it's in a subsequent video shortly thereafter, its own thing, so that people can see what the build is and what the build does. So you know what you're getting into, and you know what you're investing into resource-wise to put that build together. And so I totally get that. I didn't put this up here as like a pat on the back, although I do appreciate it. I am very thankful that what I've tried to do has been received so well by the community. It's always awesome to see. But I was accused of clickbait. I was accused of clickbait on my channel on the video that I did. And so this guy's saying that I don't do clickbait, and other people, I don't know why, but sometimes YouTube comments will post and then you refresh and then they delete. I know we responded to a few people saying I posted clickbait, and I'll post one of them, but I couldn't find the other ones. And yeah, it was something. And so I wanted to leave it up to you guys. And so here is my thumbnail, and here's the title of the video in question. And so the substance of the video, if you haven't seen it or you didn't watch the first part of this video, is I stopped playing ESO because it wasn't working when I was playing. And then I started playing New World because it does work when I play, and the combat has been very rewarding for me. That's the TLDR of this video. And so I have the ESO symbol, and then I have an arrow to the New World symbol, and then the title says why I left ESO for New World. So the title, the thumbnail, and the substance of the video all match up to point in the exact same direction. Now, I feel like a lot of clickbait exists to, sometimes it's intentionally misleading, and I try not to be intentionally misleading. I try to just post content and do stuff, and yeah, my abilities as a YouTuber aren't as good as what I choose to do as a YouTuber and what I choose to portray in my videos they often conflict, because YouTube's algorithm, they want people to click, they want people to watch. The more people click, the more people watch, the more they recommend your videos. If I'm not doing more clickbaity things, that my stuff doesn't get recommended, people don't want to watch it as much. I totally get that. But I just don't like doing it. It bugs me personally to get clickbaited really badly. And so, quick story for you. A few years ago, I was watching a content creator, and they posted a clip, and the title was Best 1vx Ever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go check this out. And so I went and looked, and I watched the fight, and it was like 45 minutes long. And I was like, okay, this must be a sick fight if he got 45 minutes of footage, right? And I'm hyped for this because it's a class that I like to think that I'm decent at and I'm good at, and I'm like, dude, this video must be sick. And I watched about 30 of the 45 minutes, and all it was the guy was in this same keep, and he was killing the same 3 or 4 people one by one over and over again as they came out of the keep. So they would spawn into the keep, they would get out. A couple of them were lower levels, like under level 60, and he would CC them, and they wouldn't be able to CC break. That very clearly knew. And they would die, and then they would respawn, and they would come out. And this went on, like I said, for 46 minutes. There was, at any point in time in the first 30 minutes that I saw, at most, he was dealing with 2 people at once. It was always just one by one. And I watched it, and I just felt like some of this, it's not actually hatred, but I just was annoyed. I was so annoyed. I was like, you made me, like, I was waiting, and I was waiting for the sick 1vx, and I got 30 minutes in, and I mean, maybe it's at the end, but I didn't make it that far. And so after that video, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care. And so that's what I try not to do, but maybe I did clickbait here. Maybe I did. I think I could have been more clickbaity. Like, I could have put a poop emoji in between, like, the ESO emblem. I could have changed, like, I could have turned the New World emblem. I could have found, like, a Chad meme of him wearing, like, a Superman vest or Superman suit, and I could replace the S on the front with the New World logo. And so basically I'm portraying that New World is awesome, and it's cool, and it's muscular, and it's manly. And then I would have, like, steam lines from A Stinking Turd by ESO. I feel like that would be a lot more clickbaity, because that's, it would get you to click the video, but that's not what I said in the video. It's misleading, because I never said ESO is a bad game. I just said it doesn't work for me, and it's in a bad spot. So yeah, I could have done that. I could have changed the title a little bit, and I could have done, like, this changes everything, all in capital letters, because, which content creator at this point doesn't put this changes everything? That's, like, the go-to clickbaity thing. I could have put, like, the shocked face on the thumbnail. There's so many things I could have done to actually clickbait. And I'm not saying I don't know. I don't think I clickbaited. I think I could have been a lot worse. I think people just didn't like that I said I was leaving ESO. One person said I slandered. One person said I was slandering ESO. And all I said is, I'm not playing this game. If you like it, cool. I'm not having fun playing it. So I don't know how that's slander, but I guess, when you really, really like a game, you don't want to hear anything else, and you just kind of put your fingers in your ears and you go la, 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 la. So I thought that was interesting. That I was accused of slander and clickbait. But yeah. This one. Another creator with like 10 subs quitting, enthralling content. This is responding to Nephis. And he responded on mine as well. But he responded twice. And so that's fine. I don't know why creator is in quotation marks. I have over 700 videos about ESO. I have created over 700 videos. So I'm not saying I'm a good content creator, but I am definitely a creator of content. Like that actually is something that I do. Maybe not very well, because, I only have 10 subs. I'm going to have to check out, hold on one second. I'm going to check out United States education ranking, mathematics. 38th. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I don't have a lot. I get it. I get that this guy's trying to size shame me, which is fine. My wife size shames me all the time. I'm impervious to it at this point. I do have almost 13,000 subs. In ESO terms, especially ESO PvP terms, that's not a small channel. I get it. I am a small channel. I am size shamed. You got me. But can we enjoy the irony of the fact that he's making fun of somebody about 10 subs, and this guy himself has 10 subs exactly? Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else finds that funny, but it's like, it's almost like some self-loathing. Like, man, 10 subscriber losers, and the guy has 10 subscribers and somehow secretly hates himself. I don't know. I don't know. The irony there just really gets me. Also, I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be fun to do this video because this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And yeah, I wanted to do this video for a while because there's a lot of irony also in the types of people that comment on my videos, just really strong negativity. I've never really talked about to you guys about like the YouTube side of things, but I'll post content, and a lot of you guys that you're just going to nod your head in agreement on this. When I post stuff about ESO and I talk about changes, I talk about things that I would like to see, and I always try to discuss changing things through battle spirit. And the reason I bring that up is basically just, hey, for PvP, for PvE, if you want this way and like the community wants things this way, that's fine. Like if you want overpowered proc sets and sets that heal you and keep you alive, and it's only in the PvE area and people that play PvE, that's what they want, sure, go right ahead. Like that's fine. But it's game breaking in the PvP area. So if we can adjust these sets to where they don't work don't work the same way in PvP via battle spirit, we could do these things and we could keep the separation. That's why battle spirit exists. You get more health through battle spirit. There are some skills, like when you use ambush, or at one point when you used ambush or lotus fan on NPCs, it would stun them, but you don't get that stun in PvP because it would be problematic. You can do that thing for other stuff. That's what battle spirit is there for. And so I've always advocated for trying to make changes through battle spirit. And so I'll talk about things and I'll talk about changes. And I always try to say, hey, this is for PvP only. It only needs to be affected in battle spirit. Either make it so it doesn't work in PvP or whatever. And so the thing that happens is you have this large community, Nephis coined the term, so I'm going to use it, of toxic casuals. And what it is I'll post a video and I'll say something like, hey, Maris Bomb's a terrible example because that's not used in PvE. Let's say Plague Break, right? Because Plague Break recently got adjusted finally. And so let's talk about Plague Break. And so in PvE, it's great. Like if you're grinding experience and you're going through and you're pulling mobs and like you get the Plague Break explosion, you can kill things a lot faster. You can get your experience a lot faster. You can level up your character a lot faster. Plague Break is fantastic in that environment. You know where it's not fantastic? When you're fighting 5 or 6 people and you have to retreat to a resource in order to fight those 5 or 6 people, and then somebody comes in and kills an NPC and the NPCs explode and then they kill you, because Plague Break goes off, the NPCs can kill you. It was pretty annoying. And it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, this could be a really quick fix. Like this isn't other players killing me. This is a proc off an NPC, and NPCs die really quickly. They die really quickly, and they're like, if you get too close, they just blow up, and it's really, really annoying. And so those types of changes would happen, and I would post a video talking about that as an example. And then I always knew when it happened because it would get posted on the forums, and there's certain types of comments that I would get, and it would be, oh, you whiny PvPers, always whining and changing things for PvE, blah, 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 blah. Get out of the game, get out of our game. And it like, if I got 3 or more comments on the same video in like a morning, I knew it got posted on the forums. And then I would be like, oh man, what did somebody say? And the thing is people didn't watch the video. And so if they knew, like they didn't watch the video, but they had opinions about it. I'm an idiot. I'm a whiny PvPer. All I do is cry. When all I'm trying to say is like, hey, in PvP, like this needs to be adjusted. Keep it the way it is everywhere else. And if they watch the video, they would know that. But some people have to have an opinion about things without actually knowing what they're supposed to have an opinion on. And, we all call them different people. I think they're uninformed and foolish, personally. We could go even harsher, I suppose, but I think uninformed and foolish is a good place to start. And it gets in the way. It gets in the way because on top of this, not watching and not listening to feedback, you also have these people that basically just try to gatekeep information and gatekeep opinions. Like, oh, this guy's a PvPer. All he does is whine. All he is negative. Don't listen to his stuff. And the point is like that doesn't help anybody. Like that's sort of gatekeeping, and like only things we need to hear is toxic, as positive things, is extremely toxic to a game, to a business, to an organization, to a person. Like if all you hear is good and you don't know that you're doing bad, like it can be very harmful. Like it can be. And as long as it's constructive, it's a good thing. Like going back, I was in the military, and we used to do after action reviews, AARs, after our missions. So we would train, we do these training missions, and we go out in the field and we do whatever, you know, they're supposed to tell us to do. And then we would come back and we'd go through the mission, and we'd talk about the 3 things that went good, the 3 things that went bad, what can be improved. And everybody had their say in like feedback, and it was good. And the feedback was good, not only for the soldiers, but also for the officers leading, because there was times where if a mission failed, it would be because of like the officers' leadership, and they didn't take into account something, and like supplies were improper, and we failed because leadership didn't do something right. And sometimes we failed because the soldiers didn't execute the mission properly. And so it was good to go back and look at these things, and it's like, hey, this is how we're going to get better. That way, during real world experience, people aren't going to die needlessly. This is good training experience. And so I've come from a background of criticism. Like, as long as criticism is constructive, you can take it in. You can go, hey, like, this is good. I totally get this feedback. I totally get this point of view. How can we make this better? Because a better game that attracts more people generates more money. And a game that generates more money keeps the developers building the game longer, allows them to flex their creative muscles, allows them to keep their job longer. The minute players and money starts to dry up, the game can go away, and people that enjoyed the game no longer get to enjoy the game anymore. So although you don't play PvP, having PvPers in your game, paying for mounts, paying for ESO Plus, doing these sorts of things, drives the overall amount of money that ESO that can then put towards your game. And let's be honest, none of that money is going towards PvP. It's all going to you guys. It's all going to you. So you should be here and be like, hey, come on, PvP idiots, keep playing this game. Keep playing this game that doesn't work. Keep paying for ESO Plus, because you're funding my new broken proc sets. You're funding my new mythics that I get that'll help carry me through the next dungeon. But people are so short-sighted with what's going on that it's just like, oh, all you're doing is crying. And I could go and I can conduct a search of crying and whining, and I can't tell you how many times I have people that spend paragraph upon paragraph upon paragraph of crying and whining about how much PvPers allegedly whine. Do you know how funny it is? Apparently this is just the irony video, but the irony of somebody spending 20 to 30 minutes writing out paragraphs about how much PvPers whine and how they take all their stuff and how they take away all their favorite sets and how they ruin the game for them. Do you not see that that's whining? Do you not see that? Do you not see how funny that is, that you're complaining about this group of people that literally don't want anything bad for you or your sets? They just want it fixed in this one area, and you have to go off about this mythical person that doesn't exist on a channel, on a video that you didn't even watch but have an opinion about? Man, that felt good. Felt good to get off my chest. I don't know. It always cracks me up, and I had to bring it up because yeah, I mean, Nephis has. I have a more PvP oriented channel, and he has more PvE oriented, and most people agreed with us as well. But you just get this smaller group, and the PvE only players just don't understand like what's going on the PvP side. Like, just imagine if you didn't get dungeons for 3 months. Now extrapolate that to 4 years, and then you'll have a grasp of what's going on our side. Like, imagine if there was no new content that came out for Overland for 4 years. Would you be happy? Because when things, I remember I was on the forums last fall. When you guys got backbreaking changes to light attacks and heavy attacks, people justifiably got very upset. Now imagine if that extended for 4 years. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, opinions, I missed you guys. I will be back playing ESO. I will be playing New World. I will be doing Ashes of Creation content. I will be keeping those 3 things going. If you have new games you want me to maybe try out, let me know in the comments section. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.